Good morning. Welcome to the pandemic. This episode is brought to you by my stomach hurts. Happy Tuesday.
Beautiful.
Is it Tuesday?
Yes.
Sick.
So how you doing?
My stomach hurts. Can't tell why. I think it's because like I'm like avoiding the news and stuff regularly, but then like I have to look up things for the show. Like I have to force myself onto the internet to be like, oh, I should find things that are like mildly fun to talk about. And it's like, oh, that post is kind of cute. And then like pandemic, Trump, horrible religious fact. And then it's like, oh, that one's kind of cute too. And then it's like death, dying, pain, suffering. Okay, here's a kitten. And I'm like, so it's like a there's an up and down roller coaster.
Filter it out. Just filter it out. Just ignore.
I have to read all of them
blur,
though.
And then
yeah, no. Well, it's like, and then like one thing will surprise me. It'll be like, you know, this state did really well doing this thing back in and this leader of this great civil rights movement has now died of COVID-19. I'm like, you made me believe I was gonna read something good.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. This is Okay, We're Up, the morning show that me and Allison do after we just roll out of bed in our pajamas. Oh, right. Oh, the camera's not super focused. That's we missed that one. We usually miss one step each morning. It's fine. The show is not professional. It's actually fairly good looking and sounding for how unprofessional it is, which is nice. It is acceptable quality. But thank you for joining today. Thank you for getting up and tuning in, or tuning in before you go to bed or whatever time it is, because it's obviously not morning for most people. We have a fun show today, let me tell you.
So
it's the same as every other show.
I have a question for you. What was like one of the stupidest things you ever did as a child?
I did way stupider things as an adult than I ever did as a child.
I 100% believe that. All right, I have two good stupid child stories.
Okay.
So the reason the first one was brought up is because Matt was asking me about rocks. And the obvious way for the situation to go was when I was in like preschool or kindergarten or something, my friends and I used to grab pebbles and we used to stick them up our nose. And then we would blow them out of our nose like dragons. Like that was like the point of it.
Oh, yeah, like how dragons do.
Well, like because they breathe fire, but we couldn't do anything else. I guess water maybe. We would grab a bunch of pebbles and we would talk about like how they smelled. And we put them up our noses like this, and then we just like blow them out at each other. And I got a pebble stuck in my nose.
Yep, that's what happens.
And I cried. I cried for a really, really long time. And then my mom had to show up at my I was like, I think it must have been kindergarten, or maybe it was preschool, I don't know. My mom had to show up, and they had to get pliers, and they had to, like, go in my nose and pull the pebble out, and I was just sobbing the whole time, and they were like, you have to stop sobbing, I have a sharp thing in your nose. Yeah, that's what happened.
Ian said I did that yesterday, would recommend.
Would recommend. 10 out of 10 hobby.
Yeah, no, I can think, like, that kind of, one of the things I can think of is in Dripping Springs. I briefly lived in the tiny Texas town Dripping Springs and went to elementary school there. And one dumb thing the entire school engaged in was attacking each other with something we called spear grass.
Oh yeah, like itchy bombs.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same thing or it's similar
itchy bombs are the little balls that fall off the trees that like fracture when they hit things. And
those were there too. We had an entire war developed and revolving around a plant-based arms race. Same. Once a year because this stuff would start going. Yeah, speargrass is something that at least in Texas we called it speargrass. As kids,
we have a subscriber.
And you can pull, did we get a notification?
Yes.
Hey, who was it? Did you see?
Yeah, it's this person right here.
At the atheist snooker.
Please don't unsubscribe because we butchered your name. I'm very happy you subscribed. Thank you very much. Anyway, speargrass.
But yeah, you would like it grew. It was like grass. It branched off, and if you pulled on it, it would like pop off, and there'd be a little like point on the end of it.
Really?
So it was literally like a tiny spear that grew on a plant, and you could toss it, and it would stick, especially if it was clothes or hair. So people collected these mass amounts of spear grass, and then at recess we would just have giant wars in this field. I was part of weapons development.
Tell me what the attacking looks like. Was it sword style? Was it like spear throwing?
No, it was like collect about as much as you can, and then hide around a corner, and then jump out and just like, phew. Usually at the kids with the curly hair, because they're the ones that got stuck in.
Oh my God. We had something very similar. Our war was way meaner. It was itchy bombs, which are little tiny seeds that fall off of trees that are made of like, kind of like how like a pineapple works. It's like tough on the inside, but then on the outside it's fuzzy. But when they broke, it was itchy, like super, super scratchy. And we would throw them, so when you threw them at people, they would explode. Yeah. They would get stuck in your clothes all day and on your hair and on your skin. You couldn't get them out. And so one day, so we were really mean to the boys. We were at a private Christian middle school, and so the boys were the worst boys ever. And so
I can attest to this from my experience as well.
One day, one of the boys decided to walk up to me with like 5 in his hand, and he just nails them at my face. Just like completely throws them and like hits me in the face. They all explode. It was horrible. Also, like, the outside is hard. It hurt. It was a rude thing to do. We had never, like, escalated to that point, but this guy was, like, he was troubled.
It only takes one person.
So I spent the rest of recess collecting itchy bombs, and then I walked up to him casually, not looking like I had itchy bombs, and I opened his pants, and I dropped them in there, and then I hit them. And I got in so much trouble. We were in so much trouble. We did crap like this all the time. So that wasn't my other kid story, but it tangented into a different one.
Wow.
Yeah, we were wild. We were wild middle schoolers. I feel like the boys started it. They pelted them at my face. Anyway.
It's from the comments, the other women love you and the other men hate you.
Good game, Allison. I love you. You are my idol. Thank you very much. Don't start shit with me. I was an angry child. I wasn't even an angry child. I was annoyingly smart with very few restrictions on, like, my parents were always incredibly encouraging of my creativity, good or bad. They were like, if you're gonna rule the world, do it your best. Be the best ruler of the world. So I leaned in different directions growing up.
I think it's really interesting, I think, sometimes about, like, how there's, you and Ian strike me as very similar in a lot of ways, but like two different kinds of the same person.
Yeah.
Because you were both really smart kids.
Yeah.
But you did crap like that. and he read college books.
I also read college books. But no, you're right. I think Ian and I's creativity, I think the difference is socially, right? My creativity grew with my interactions with other people, and sure. I learned, I was a kid, so I learned like a robot. When people did things to me, I learned what to do back better because I was reading college books.
Unfortunately for you, other middle schooler, I have just finished The Art of War. Prepare to die.
I love this comment. Talion Baratheon says, Allison, I never did anything to make people dislike me. Also, Allison, I dropped itchy bombs down a guy's pants and then whacked him. To be fair, he threw them at my face first, meaning he initiated the, like, I never did anything to him before that. That's not true. We had a whole war way before this, but I promise you, he started the war, but I should have been better, because he was a troubled kid, and I'd go home and I'd tell my parents, and they were like, don't do that, he's got troubles at home, be nice to those kids. And then I would go and I would tease him, and then he would tease me.
I know I never did anything to anybody to make people mad at me because I just never did anything. I just didn't do anything. I spent the first 20 years of my life just sitting in a chair in a corner waiting to be told what to do. And then only started doing things like once I hit adulthood. So all my dumb stories are from after that.
That's okay though. There's something really, really enjoyable about it. There's one comment.
But they're still like kid dumb. They're not adult dumb stories. They're not like they're not like party stories. They just happened when I was 25. They're things like I finally got money and was able to start building things. So I have like one of my favorite out of context from somebody else's perspective memories of me is the one time my dad walked into the garage and I'm just like sitting crouched over a Home Depot bucket filled with a green liquid and fur and stirring it with a stick.
Sure. Yes. Yes. I understand now. I also do like stupid things pretty regularly, but like dumb stupid. It's just
Stop. Go lay down.
It was mostly just like the consequences were not thought about thoroughly. It was more of the things I did as an adult. Like as a kid, I was just doing crap. I didn't think about it. As an adult, I'm like, I'm going to think about the consequences. And then when they happen, I was like, I did not anticipate these consequences. There was also, I had, there was a comment that I loved. What did it say? Oh, right. Princeps.
We're so bad at pronouncing everybody's names. Or you guys are bad at coming up with names.
Prince
Who's
PS
to say, really?
Says, I was always the smart but not enough guy. And this means multiple things in my head immediately. Like smart but not enough of other things, or smart but not smart enough guy. Like, were you smart, but, like, it wasn't enough? Mm-hmm. It wasn't enough to, like, to deal with the rest of you? Or were you, like, smart, but you just weren't smart enough to anyone to be like, that guy's smart? Anyway, it made me sad. It was a sad, hilarious comment that I laughed at.
I saw a question that said, Kyle, when did you stick pebbles up your nose? I don't remember exactly when, but if I did, it was definitely for a video.
100% was for a video. Right, that's, like, the dangers between, like, being a kid and being adult doing stupid things, though, because, like, I almost burned my house down with a paper towel trying to get a Pop-Tart. You nearly died of heat exhaustion as an adult trying to film a video about old fighting-style games, and almost killed your friends in the process.
Actually, the entire HEV suit debacle was multiple almost deaths story. Wearing the HEV suit. I still have a scar from making the HEV suit, and then wearing it both days, I also almost just, like, got heat stroke, I think.
That's true. Okay. Anyway.
He left.
He did.
Anyway, should we do a segment? What should we do first? I noticed that our views slowly climb over the course of the show, so really the best parts of the show we should do in the middle.
Hell yeah.
Whatever that is.
Let's figure out what the weather is.
Okay, should we go to Matt?
I also figured out our new segment
I'm not born to Matt, actually.
The new segment is actually going to be called, did you know?
Okay.
No.
What is that?
I had it this morning.
What new segment? Is this the news?
Well,
the
yeah,
headlines?
when we talk about, like headlines. Oh, headlines. Headlines, something about headlines, or
Only
did you know?
Only the headlines.
Only that. That's good, too. That's better. That's better. I like that one. Then I don't have to read anything. Oh, sounds like you could play a fun episode of Drunker Kid. So,
right, yeah.
I only spent, like, 3 or 4 years consistently drunk. I have outdone my kid stories significantly. I was a kid for like 15 years. I was drunk for 3. The stories do not compare. So it was fun until I realized that maybe I was perhaps sad and that the point of the game is to grow as a person. We'll never know. Okay. Princeps has clarified that we had the top smart tier people. I was just like below that level, mostly because I'm lazy and spend most of my time in school reading stuff. So like there was like super smart, and then this guy, and then everyone else.
Yeah, that feels like me too. All right, we're at the weather. Matt, how's it going? Matt, you're sideways. Matt, you're frozen.
Matt, you're quiet.
Matt, can you hear us at all? He probably can't, actually. I don't think the microphone's plugged into the computer.
Oh, my goodness.
Keep talking. We'll be right back.
What do you mean we'll be... Are we leaving?
No, Matt will be right back.
Okay. So today I'm drinking Banana Foster's coffee. It's like dirt water, but with a little bit of banana scent. Has no banana flavor. That's not something coffee offers. Flavor. Like, it's either... like super strong or not super strong.
The entire cable came out. I didn't even notice.
Hello? Hello? My favorite vine of all
This is
time.
the exciting episode where everything breaks.
My favorite vine of all time will always be that one. With, like, the girl sleeping. She's just like, she is passed the hell out. And then someone throws water on her, and she just goes like, hello. She is 100%. Well, okay. Anyway, the weather.
Matt, can you hear us?
Matt. Now I'm wondering if this is a problem on Matt. Does he know to turn up the volume?
I don't know. He's got some good pants.
I don't even think he knows that we're on this call. Anyway. We might have to save this one for a little later.
Yeah, we have to come back.
Why don't you tell Matt to figure his stuff out? Lord.
Hello.
Hello?
Hey.
Oh, what's up?
Your response.
Are we here?
Matt, you there?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, Matt.
We had some technical difficulties getting connected to you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's all right.
So.
You're sideways, and I can't. The sky looks good, though.
That's a great video of the sky.
I wanted to make sure you got that for sure first.
Oh, this is much better, though.
Yeah.
No. You're sideways now.
You want me to be? Oh,
you gotta do this one. There you go.
Okay. What's up?
Nice. Nice. Are those migraine glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the weather?
Oh gosh. Good.
Good. Yeah. Solid.
Heck. How could I describe it? Yeah,
How could you describe it?
Feels all right.
What was that?
It's all right.
It's okay. Yeah, that's good.
No,
Is it raining?
All right. It's not raining.
Oh
boy. Uh-oh.
Why is that outside?
No.
Matt, you have to step on a scale to get into your house?
Yeah, it's a weight lock. No people under 150 are getting into my house again.
Oh.
Not after last time.
All right, Matt. That was a good weather update.
You want to know something else?
I really appreciate it. I feel like now I know that the weather is all right.
I keep messing up about the weather part. Hold on, let me say something real about the weather.
All right, yeah. Say something, then we'll head out.
I don't know. It's like 70 something.
Nailed it.
Cool.
That was awesome.
Thanks, Matt.
Absolutely
Right.
killer.
See you later.
God, Matt is such a talent. He really is he's truly just everything. I can't. How did we get such a talented individual?
I don't know. I'm not
Good
sure
at the weather. Good at the entertainment.
You're just good at all of it.
Yeah, just truly. No, lower your Discord.
What?
Move it.
Okay.
Come on. Anyway, Matt, killing it.
Thought you were just chanting.
Oh, nope. My brain is just like on like a 3-second delay. So that's more of the issue than anything else.
Well, there's your weather update.
In case you wondered what the weather like is here, it's all right. With some clouds.
So what were some of the headlines you found today?
Are we doing that already?
That is what they're for.
All right.
So that we don't have weird pauses.
I'm gonna say, so I also am gonna include one that's just like a trending hashtag on Twitter, and you're gonna tell me what you think happened.
Okay.
Got it?
That's fun. I like that.
Stanley Tucci.
They finally found out that he isn't the other guy.
No, they found that out a long time ago. One more guess.
He either has coronavirus or said something stupid about coronavirus.
No.
Okay.
He is still a treasure. He posted a video on Twitter of him making some sort of alcoholic drink.
Okay.
And while I did not watch the video, because I was tired and Twitter is hard to use for me, all of the tweets seem to be in strong favor of Stanley Tucci. How do you say his name? Tucci. Yeah. They're like most of the tweets say something along the lines of like, "This is the most relaxed I've been since the pandemic started. Thank you, Stanley Tucci, for doing this." It seems like he just posted an incredibly wholesome and enjoyable video of him making cocktails.
Nice.
So, and the internet loves it. We're all slowly losing our minds But I don't think anybody expected him to be the warrior of the pandemic today, but here he is.
Are we losing our minds, or are we just finally realizing what's important in life?
Does he ever do anything? Like, he seems to be one of those people that, like, comes around to act and then disappears into the shadows.
No, he's just a normal person. He's not a celebrity.
What about the other guy?
He just does a job. Nobody even knows the other guy is around. They only know the one name, which sucks for... What is the other guy's name?
I don't know.
I want to reveal this to people because I legitimately didn't know this, and I think...
Someone says, Lizzie.
What was the other movie?
Darardian says, oh no, why is this trending? Everyone's least favorite game to play on Twitter. There's two answers. Trump or K-pop. So I have to do things outside of that range for why things are trending. So
if I search one of the...
Alcohol and but Phoenix Rising says alcohol and wholesome content is a good combination, and I could not agree more. Just nice, sweet little people making sweet little cocktails. This is great.
The other name is Mark Strong.
Right. Who is
I don't
in
know
what?
If you're... this isn't just... Like, I have trouble telling people apart sometimes, but I've run this by Allison, who is... like, immediately recognizes faces, and Ian, and I think Reed at one point, and nobody else knew this. There are two people, Stanley Tucci and Mark Strong. If you've pictured either one of them in different movies, you may be picturing the wrong one. Mm-hmm. There are two of them, and they're not the same person, and they're not in the same movies.
Stanley Tucci was in The Devil Wears Prada.
He was. He was also in The Hunger Games. Mark Strong was in Kingsman.
Oh.
And she was in Shazam recently as the villain, which is why we started looking it up in the first place.
Right, because we were like, we love that guy.
Yeah, and I can't remember, there's a few other ones too. There were actually, this was the stupidest thing. I think there's another Kingsman movie planned, and Stanley Tucci is in that one. Like, they're even mixing and matching them in the movies.
In which movie?
The next Kingsman supposedly was he was slated on his Wikipedia page as being in the next Kingsman movie.
You're right. That's weird. That's
just to make it even more confusing.
I bet they hate that. I bet celebrities hate looking like another celebrity.
I mean, yeah, their entire, like, half their job is trying to make themselves unique so that they get hired.
Someone says, try to say my name.
Where's like that?
Water sepe.
That's it now.
I agree.
That's how you say it.
I agree.
Water sepe.
Would you say it differently?
No, you can't. I would never.
It's perfect.
First, Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock has Mark Strong.
So Mark Strong is the villain.
Stanley Tucci Mark Strong is evil Stanley Tucci is usually how you can tell it apart.
Right, okay, so Mark Strong is the villain. Stanley Tucci is the gay guy in all the films with the bald gay guy.
Right, yeah.
Cool. Got it. No, I know now. It's never going to be Mark Strong.
That is the easiest shorthand.
Watch them do that one day,
they'll just switch it, yeah, and then it'll
one day Mark Strong will be in, like, some chick flick, and I will just have lost my mind. I think it's time for...
Oh. What is it time for?
I don't know. I hadn't got that far. Are you feeling anything?
I noticed somebody asked about the Discord and was going to ask if you wanted to mention the Discord yet, or if we should talk about that later.
Nah.
Okay. Never mind then.
No. Let the suspense rise.
What's the next segment?
Suspense! It's cams. Let's go to cams.
We're loading the webcam.
So my iPod did not load any of the cameras.
So you don't know what they actually look like?
Oh, hey, look, there's a video. Sweet.
What are we looking at today?
Monkeys.
This is checking in with the world, looking through the magic computer window.
These are
titles pending.
Yeah, those are monkeys.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, the one in the far right corner at the bottom, and the one all the way far away from the camera.
I like that we tried humans again yesterday, couldn't find them, and went back to animals.
We gotta mix it up. Look, we can stare at streets all day long, but we could also squint and try very hard to see monkeys. But
there's actually one right there on the right of the screen.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
See his little hand.
They're so cute. I wish you could see him like up close.
Is there an alligator down there too?
What? In the monkey pit?
There's or maybe it's like a Komodo dragon or something.
Oh my god!
Dragon.
It's always interesting. I wonder, like, how they know which animals can cohabitate together, or like if they accidentally try something and then it just completely falls apart.
I think they probably are pretty certain before they put them in the same cage.
No, because some things seem like they'd make sense, like alligators and monkeys. 100% sense.
What was the weird combination at our zoo that we always laugh at? There's one place that has like two things in it. I think it was the monkey cage and something else was in there.
Otters.
Was it? Oh yeah, it was. It was monkeys and otters were both in the same.
Go ahead and switch it back.
Enclosure.
These monkeys are not entertaining me. Which is like one job a monkey is supposed to do, obviously.
Right. What else were they for?
No, yeah, we had it was the little tiny cute monkeys that like you buy at like the stuffed monkeys with the long arms. As like a toy. No, monkeys. Oh. Why did you say lemurs?
I don't know.
I said monkeys with the long arms and you went lemurs. What is wrong with you? No, monkeys. And then at the bottom there were otters. And they were fighting.
Yeah.
And it was really, really cute.
Otters make squeaky noises. I didn't know that.
Yes.
We have a Magnetize says, so far I've missed every one of these because of online lectures. So what is the show actually? This.
Trainwreck.
This is the show.
It's just your daily dose of morning nonsense.
We roll out of bed, we hit the stream button, and then we talk about whatever we planned the night before, which is very loosely planned.
We don't. I have never once planned it the night before.
That's true. You actually just wake up and then send me links over Discord.
I wake up like half asleep, or like I can't see anything, and like scroll on my iPad for some headlines, and then like I vaguely read like one or two things on it, and I send it over, and I do the same thing with the cams and the show and tell, and then I call it a morning, and then I walk up from my bed over and sit in this chair, and then we start yammering.
Or in other words, as DG1321 puts it, it's a running record of their slow descent into madness.
Yes. Yeah, the
Also
compilation
accurate.
at the end of this is going to be just phenomenal, truly.
Probably going to need some help putting that together, actually. There's going to be a lot of episodes if we keep this up for
All right, I have another headline.
months.
But you have to open your Discord. Oh, wait, I
I
kind
actually
of...
saw them because I put...
Did you open them?
I tweeted about them. No, I didn't open them. We're not going to read the article. We're going to look at the headline that we're going to talk about.
Right. Okay.
But I recognized one of them because I saw it on my own...
Tell me about it.
It's
Let me hear it.
the Russian book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
I had never heard of this. Apparently there was an...
You've never heard of it?
Not until I read it. Or not until I saw it a few days ago.
Okay, you did see it a few days ago. Oh, okay. Well, tell us about it.
It's apparently a Russian author made an unofficial follow-up to the original Lord of the Rings, in which he retold the same story, but from Mordor's perspective, basically with the, history was written by the victors.
It's from Sauron's point of view, and portrays Mordor as the good guys.
Right.
And the book is called The Last Ringbearer.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Mordor is portrayed as, this country on, the verge of an industrial revolution. And
I need to know the mindset of the man who made this book, though. Who reads Lord of the Rings and goes, I need to tell this better and differently?
I think it's brilliant, actually.
You like it?
I mean, yeah.
Have you read it?
That's pretty much... No.
Is it in Russian?
I just think probably. The title is in Russian on the cover.
Dang.
I don't have the picture ready to go right here.
That's okay. Google, but don't leave.
I tweeted it. If you go to our Twitter, the cover is right there at the top.
There you go.
But yeah, I just thought it's kind of the same kind of thing we do with domes for our sketches. Is go what does this look like from a different perspective of a character? Usually from a character that isn't the player is what we end up doing.
Right.
Because it usually looks very different, and you can find comedy in sort of the difference. And so I think it's kind of cool. They went as far as to be like orc is just a word they use to describe us. It's like a racial slur.
Wow.
Basically, we're not actually it's not even monsters or anything. It's just that's the portrayal of events from the elves' point of view.
Why is there an ad? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, so as I've gotten older, maybe this is an outlook on my getting older and more mature, or perhaps a very disappointing understanding of my perspective having grown up in this sad world, which is that villains are really not usually that bad of guys. Anytime I'm watching something, I'm like, I don't know, that seems like pretty good motivation. Well, I really can't blame this person for being that way.
Because sometimes the heroes are this guy sucks.
Yeah.
This guy's terrible. Why is he the one we're watching?
Literally all the time. It's one of the nicer things about Marvel movies has made me go back and relook at other movies and been like, villains are really kind of they're just edgier people with the same motivations as heroes, but just have very different perspectives on how that should work, which is which reflects back in our own society. We're incredibly polarized with ourselves, especially in America. So you've got like two sides of one argument, and they both hate each other, but they all want the same thing to be done. But then everyone's demonized. That's not to say, like, you know, some villains actually
they
just,
do usually simplify it in movies because the villains are usually, like, they have maybe a good motivation, but they've decided killing people to get it is okay or something, which is...
War?
Universally accepted as not good. But
War?
It depends on the hero of the story, really. It's like, is the villain worse than the person that you're supposed to be rooting for?
Well, right, so Thanos comes in.
Interesting, right then.
Right, so Thanos comes in, right, and he's like, I'm gonna save the world by destroying half the population. And then you just like, they didn't do this, but just like pan to a group of scientists who are kind of like, kind of would work. It's not like the worst idea. Let's talk about some of the positive effects that have happened after plagues. I know it's like not like the best thing to say, but like there's some evidence to show, and it's just annoying. They introduce a villain, and I'm like, but is it like that bad of an idea? The end. I do not advocate for killing half the population. I just feel like I need to put that in there. I just feel like they've started making villains more relatable now as an adult. The end.
I would like
come at me
to give props to Phoenix Rising, who says Thanos is a moron that didn't think to double all the universe's stuff. Right.
Think about the work that goes into that, though. Way more work. Were you going to read something about the Russian book?
I saw somebody pointing out that like Russia. It makes sense that the book was written by Russia around the time that it was.
Why is that?
His exact comment was in Russian accent. Mordor is just misunderstood, like Mother Russia.
This makes sense. I feel like Russia is very understood.
Also, someone's example of the hero that sucks, that is actually terrible, was Jim from The Office, which is an interesting opinion.
No! This has happened before. I stumbled on some subreddit that just talks about how Jim and Pam are the worst characters in The Office. You're wrong. You're just wrong. Spoilers. Angela is literally a terrible person to everyone in The Office and judges them for all of the things that they do. Dwight kills cats. He is not a good person. He regularly does terrible things to everyone in The Office. Michael is a sexist pig who says terrible things to women and other people throughout the entire show. Just because we learn to love terrible people does not mean that Jim and Pam, who pretty much do nothing the entire show, are bad people. No, you're not allowed to have this opinion. It's a bad opinion. You're wrong. You're just wrong. I'm sorry about whatever commenter said that, but whoever told you that opinion is wrong. It's not your fault. They were wrong first. No. I will say, Pam is like probably the least interesting character on The Office, but that's as far as I'll go.
I have thoughts, but we don't have time to unpack all that right now.
It just goes to show that people who think Jim and Pam are the worst people have never worked in that environment. Go work in that environment. Come back and be like, Jim and Pam are the villains of the show.
I don't think any of the characters in The Office are terrible people. I think they're all very well done, like, portrayals of just different kinds of people.
If you're talking about the British Office, I have no idea. Nobody watched that. We all watched the one.
British people did. That's why they made more of The Offices.
No. No one knows what that is. It's completely unheard of. Here we go.
Are we doing Office chat now?
Look. Someone said something controversial and I blew up.
We have Dwan Dooler says, I don't get the appeal of shows that just focus on assholes. No, that's true.
Thank you.
Same. I don't agree with a lot of takes on certain shows being that. Like, I don't think The Office is one of those shows. At least not the American one specifically.
Right.
Again, I'm not super familiar with any of the other versions.
Seems like you wouldn't
you
wouldn't like British TV.
British TV varies. It depends on who's writing it.
Everyone's
this is the
asshole.
thing. Right.
That's like the point. It's like endearing though. It's like charming assholes because England. That's like their thing, right?
Kind of historically, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's England. I think the reason English shows are okay is because they don't glorify those characters.
Right.
They're insulting themselves through making those characters because they're very self-aware about who they've been throughout history.
Right.
usually American TV that has that kind of stuff will do it and will kind of like present those characters as they're supposed to be likable in some way. Not always. There's like, your go-to is Always Sunny, which you haven't been able to enjoy.
No.
But according to Ricky, they also don't glorify the characters. I haven't seen it, so I don't know what actually the tone of the show is. We should probably watch a couple episodes at some point.
So I don't think they don't. Okay, so there's a fine line though of like glorifying terrible behavior and using terrible behavior as a way to make people laugh. But in between that category is making people laugh with people doing terrible things just enough that they feel like they could replicate it in real life.
Sure.
And it would go over as a joke instead of as a terrible thing.
Right.
And so there's like this really, really small space between a lot of shows, which is like, is it just funny? Are they actually terrible people and that's what we're supposed to take away? Or are people taking away that if they do that joke in real life, people will laugh instead of being offended and it's actually a bad thing to do?
And I think those characters don't exist as prevalently in modern media, but used to, you definitely had like the cool douchebag that would like say snarky things, but he was clearly like the writers clearly wanted you to like him even though he was being mean to everybody. So
to the credit of It's Always Sunny, which is probably the only good thing I'll say about it, is everyone who has told me to watch it I actually highly value as people. Very good, kind people who do nice things and care about other people love that show, which means they're obviously not replicating what the characters do, but they find it insanely funny.
Well, Ricky, just to give Ricky his input here, he says Always Sunny works because they lose every episode, which I do think is the important thing. If you want to make crappy people and don't want them to be the good guys, you can't give them, you can't reward them, I guess is what it is.
Yeah. No, back when I was in Catalyst, my little Christian club cult organization that I was a part of, there was a boy who was like, he was a young 18. He wasn't just like young and 18. He was young for 18, or maybe he was 20. I don't know, but he was young. And we were really good friends. And he was just like the most wholesome, quiet, homegrown, like a small boy that could ever exist. And he was incredibly religious and very like, I don't know, just very. I don't know the right word. Anyway, he was very wholesome, and he loved It's Always Sunny. He was like, I have to show you this show. So he shows me it, and I'm like, what did I just watch? And he's like, isn't it great? And I'm like, I'm so upset. It was awful. I think like when one of the first episodes, one of the main character has like a problem public speaking, so he just projectile vomits every time, and it's like a whole thing that we have to go through. And like with Family Guy, it can work because they're cartoons, but in real life, when you're watching people try to like do things and their reaction is to vomit constantly, it's like, I don't want this. I don't want this at all. So anyway, there's credit towards the show, but I am like, meh.
I haven't actually seen it, so I don't. We probably shouldn't have picked the show that neither of us have seen much of. A better example would be
the first season,
like Community, because I've seen a lot of Community, and it's also a show about awful people. Played for laughs, and you've seen it, and you and I have slightly different opinions on it.
It is a great show, though.
Yeah.
I just can't watch it more than once. Like, I watched through Community, and I got it, right? And it was like, they're all assholes this season. Next season, they're slightly better. Nope, back to assholes. And, like, you watch them grow, which is a great thing about Community, but watching the show back, I'm just like, I can't wait for these people to not be insufferable idiots. Like, they're just horrible. They're just all... But it's like, Community almost feels like it would be better in sketches. Like, just little, like, 10-minute clips on YouTube where I could just go and watch it.
Yeah. The show kind of feels that way to me, though. It never, like, I don't sit down and, like, feel like I have to get invested. It's just funny.
Are people just quoting It's Always Sunny, or is it the IT?
I think actually a lot of people are quoting IT Crowd, which I tried watching once, and I made it through a whole season. Eventually I just kind of stopped because I think it wasn't quite clicking, but it definitely, it had some high points. It had some stuff in it. It wasn't really my style. It was like a little bit... Weirdly, it was a little bit too English for me.
Is that the IT? That is the IT Crowd?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I watched that show, and like one of the first episodes, one of the guys had poop on his face, and it was like a whole gag for like he just kept... I kind of
remember that. Yeah, it was that kind of stuff.
I stopped watching after that because I was like, this isn't for me, guys. This is not my thing.
There were legitimately clever things. One of the lines for some reason that sticks in my head is, so the guy everybody likes, Moss, he's the black guy with the weird like double, like the parted afro or whatever.
Hell yeah. That's what you do.
At one point there's just like a bunch of computers on fire.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to he's trying to put it out on one of them and somehow set something else on fire. And he just goes like, I'm just gonna put this over here with the rest of the fire. And something about that, he also reminds me of my friend Jay. For some reason, the way he used to talk, he just has that weird, like, sort of flat-faced response to everything.
Love it.
He's funny. I love him.
Yeah,
and any scene with him in it is great.
Okay.
So yeah, there were parts of it that I liked a lot, but
That's totally fair.
It was just kind of off and on, and eventually I got tired of it, but...
It's time for...
something else.
Show and tell.
Yeah. What do we got today?
I don't remember. Oh! Okay, so this is by one of our fans, who I am actually a fan of.
Yeah.
So like it like reverse. I am their fan. They are ours. But so this is made by Turtle Army Jess, who hand knits little tiny creatures and things. I actually have on my keychain a turtle that she gave us like 2 or 3 years ago. That I consistently have on my keys everywhere I go, all the time. Every time I look at it, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I don't know if she sells these things, but she should, because I would buy all of them all the time. But yeah, they're these little crochet/knitted things. And I can attest that mine has lasted 3 years and looks amazing on keychains, which go everywhere all the time. But yeah, this is super cool. It's an F-bomb.
She submitted a few... Oh, wow. I'm so tired.
Does your tea have caffeine?
No.
Oh, let me smell it.
It's an herbal tea. It's
what are you drinking?
Spiced chai.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, she's been around.
Smells great.
She's been around for a long time. We love all the things that she makes. She submitted some stuff of some of our characters before, and she sent us a little. She sent us the hobo, right?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think I've had that. We had that on display prominently, and then moved. And I think it's actually still packed up right now because we was going to go in Door Monster office that we ended up not getting.
No, she needs to contact us because I will promote her stuff on every platform I have. She's just insanely talented, and I don't know if she is trying to sell things, but she should, because
it's really good. It's really
I would buy them. But yeah,
thanks for submitting that though. Where'd you get that from? From our Discord?
Yeah, it was posted just like maybe a week or so ago, and I can't believe I missed it. So it was really cool to see that she was posting again.
Yeah,
I just love it. I want that so much. I want that on my keychain. She specifically makes things that like I thoroughly enjoy, like slightly in my humor, like adorable F-bombs is the way to go.
Okay, I have to address something as the person that edits and uploads these, and then also sees the comments. Everybody would need you to stop moving your microphone.
Oh no!
Every time you touch that, it reverberates through the mic and just has like this low rumbling under the video. I've tried to like squish it out in the edit, but you can still kind of hear it in the video uploads
really?
too. Yeah.
but I move.
Yeah. Don't.
I think I need to just like glue it down then, because I have I'll do this thing. I do it at my when I worked at specifically only when I have to sit down and work. I will regularly look at my desk and just be like, that's got to move over here. That's got to move over here. And that has to move over here. And then it's all wrong. And then I have to do it again at like an hour later. There was no like
Torn Doodler says at least lift it up. That would actually work. I think it's because you're sliding it along the table. If you just like were to lift it and then reset it, it wouldn't be too bad.
Very lightly.
Good job. What was the other headline? There was one other one I remember.
There was one other headline. Let me find it, actually. What was it?
I have noticed actually moving anything on this table like makes that sound though.
Could be the table.
Just kind of vibrate it, so like I think it's just if it moves the microphone will
moving your coffee mug around makes the same noise.
Yeah.
No. I reject. All right, it says today I learned killer whales use a hunting technique known as karate chop against sharks. Using its tail, it pushes the shark to the surface on a vortex, then raises its tail high in the air and slams it on the shark's head. Then it flips the shark, over, causing tonic immobility, rendering it paralyzed. Hell of a headline.
Yes.
How do you feel about this?
How do I feel about Karate Whale?
Yes.
I called dibs on making the movie.
It already happened. It's called Blackfin. Blackfish?
Is that about a karate whale?
Yeah, it's about orcas.
Yeah.
Or the karate whales.
No. Karate Whale is its own movie.
Okay.
It's a whale fighting a karate master.
Oh. Okay, but you have to understand, how will it move?
How?
Because if you stood a whale like upright, like in a cartoon, it would only have like small fins on the side, and then like the
They
tail.
have to fight on the beach, so it's like it's half water and half land.
Have you seen Blackfish?
No.
That movie was scary. But then like people came out and were like, it's not true. So it was really hard to it's basically about how like killer whales.
That's the one about the SeaWorld being bad, right?
Yeah, well that's probably true. But no, it was kind of about how like killer whales are so insanely smart that they understand that they're murdering us, and that they're like trying to like, because they're in captivity, they're trying to basically like break out and can have like motivations against people.
Yeah,
like it was really cool. They are definitely like one of the smartest animals. Anyway, it's just totally. I just love the idea of karate chopping a shark as a whale. I think it's safe to say now, sharks shouldn't be no one's biggest fear. It should always be orcas. Oh my gosh, how do you feel? And also, how do they feel? So there's a.
Did you break? Are you okay?
I was thinking. There's a phobia.
Yeah.
There's a phobia called thalassophobia.
Right.
I think is what it's called, which is the fear of like open water.
Okay.
Or like big, or like, it manifests differently. It can be open water. It can be like water that's too deep, water you can see all the way to the bottom of, or water that's murky. And it's basically like the fear of things being like, it's just big, wide, and you can't see everything. How do you feel about that kind of thing? Does that spook you?
No, it's not a specific thing that I have. I mean, not more than I guess it would on average.
What is like your greatest fear?
I don't know, just like existential crap. I don't really have like physical phobias.
No,
very
existential
much.
Crap is not a phobia.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Mine is being buried alive. It's all my fears.
Sure. I don't really. I don't want to be buried alive or fall anything like that.
No.
But it's not. None of it's a phobia.
No, you have to have some kind of phobia.
I don't think I do.
No.
I told you I sat in the folding chair in a corner for 20 years. I never had to develop a fear.
What are you talking about? That's exactly how you develop fears. You just sit around all day going, "What's the worst way to die?" Right? Whatever.
Nope.
No, you're wrong. You're the one that's wrong here. Probably. Right?
It's honestly, it could go either way. I don't know. I'm sure phobias exist. People have them. I just assume they come from experiences more than just sort of like thinking about them.
I like Autumn's phobia. It says, one phobia I have is having my fingers broken. Like, okay. That's just like, I could see, okay, so the fun thing about phobias is I can see how, like, to some people, it's weird what's really bad to some people and what's not a big deal to others.
Yeah.
Like, a guy that I knew in Catalyst was so afraid of getting his finger degloved. Which is just when, like, the skin rips off.
Yeah.
And so he never wore any, like, metal rings or anything. He was completely afraid to wear any, like, jewelry on his hands. And then he got married and he had to wear the rubber bands as a ring because it was just, like, his biggest fear.
See, that's the thing. I don't like, I mean, that's like, I don't want that to happen, but it's not like an actual, like, fear. I'm not thinking about it constantly. The closest I can think is that I have trouble watching, like, people get injured in movies or, like, medical scenes or something because I can, like, feel it when I'm seeing it happen on somebody else.
There's not a single phobia that hits you as like worse. Like just like all the
that,
phobias make
like,
you a little bit like ugh, but then
yeah.
one that like hits your stomach and you're like that would be the worst.
Not off the top of my head.
The other one I can think of is being swarmed by bugs.
Right. Yeah.
That's just like no. I think I'd rather be buried alive. Actually, I think I would rather be buried alive than swarmed by bugs. I cannot. The idea of swarms. Nope. Not happening. Well, and I'm trying to think, like, I guess horror movies have all played up on like, there's like
I never watched horror movies growing up either.
Maybe that's what it is. Then,
I never had
like,
to, yeah.
They really embrace how far the phobia can go.
Right.
Because there was open water, which are the two people that are stuck in the middle of the ocean, which probably developed a lot of people's fears of open water.
Yeah.
There's planes. There's snakes on the planes.
Planes, snakes on planes.
Easily.
Snakes flying planes.
Right. What are you saying?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just combining words.
You having a rough morning, huh?
Am I?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're having a bit of a time.
As long as there's only one of us each day, it's fine. Because then the other one can carry the show.
Yeah, I feel like
yours was yesterday.
No.
We have video record.
Lord.
Speaking of, if you want to watch any of these episodes later, you can go to Doormaster Podcasts and subscribe there. And I attempt to upload every one of these later that day. I would prefer to upload them much sooner, but our internet isn't as fast right now, so it ends up taking until like mid-afternoon to actually get it up.
Dardian says, I get scared by large, open, empty spaces. Don't go to Oklahoma. That's where I had my first panic attack.
Right, yeah.
Probably because of that exact thing, actually.
Oklahoma. I still blame Oklahoma.
I'd be scared of snakes flying planes. Yeah, that seems correct. Yeah, actually. Why didn't you ever watch horror movies?
I don't know. My parents probably wouldn't have let me even if I had wanted to, and I didn't really want to.
Maybe is your thing Uncanny Valley stuff? Because you get really spooked by that kind of thing, like just like things that aren't quite. That's the only way I can figure out how to describe that. Is things that aren't quite.
I really don't know. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything that stands out.
You know
over
what it is?
Everything else.
I know why. I know why you don't have any phobias.
Why?
You never did anything.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
I know. Yeah, okay. But like you never. Phobias develop from like a small taste of something, and going that multiplied would be awful. Right? So like, like you get in an elevator and you're like, I never can be in a smaller space. And you get to a really tall building and you go, I can't ever be any higher than this. Like heights suck. And so like you have like little moments throughout your life that develop and you go, this made me feel terrible. And you just have nothing like that, right?
No, nothing's ever gone wrong.
Nothing's ever gone wrong. Absolutely amazing.
I know that I'm the most privileged person on the face of the planet. I'm not pretending to be anything else. You've never even
broken a bone?
No. I get to be part of that subreddit. The never broken bone.
I might have.
I've never been to the hospital for myself. I've only gone on behalf of other people that were going.
Right. Well, choking?
No.
My
biggest phobia growing up, I think, was Reed. because when Reed was around, that's the only time I would get hurt.
Reasonable. What about that like sort of that like the what's it called when things are too big? Like
is that one? Is that a thing?
Yeah, like in movies where like the Cthulhu effect, right? Things are just too big, and they make you feel like this.
Again, nothing that like keeps me up at night. I definitely feel it when it happens. I've done VR stuff where they've kind of blown something up,
and you feel it in your stomach.
Yeah, but everyone does. That's the appeal of like Lovecraftian horror is that it's like so big that you as a human your brain just breaks because you can't comprehend how big this thing is.
Right, but for some people I love it. I actually love that feeling that I get when I see it.
I think it's cool too.
It
doesn't.
All right, so it's
still not a phobia.
Dang.
Well, we could sit here going through the entire list, but we have hit 9. I think we probably technically have like another 5 minutes before we hit a full hour.
Yeah, we do. Did we go through all of our things?
We went through everything except for we never called anybody. So if we could squeeze in a call before we go.
Let's do
if
it.
You want.
Let's wake someone up.
Who should we call? Jeffrey? Ethan? Matt again?
Ethan. I want to try Ethan. Will it go well?
Ethan might be legitimately angry. I'm not sure.
Let's do it.
Ethan, I apologize in advance.
Lil Ben DeSmall says either Kyle has no phobia or he has all of them and just thinks it's normal.
That's true. That could be either way, really.
It's not the other one. I freaking wish. That would be way more interesting. Turn it up. There we go.
See if we get our first no-show. Hello?
Hello?
Ethan.
Hey!
Hey.
Ethan, you're live.
That's cool. How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good. How you doing?
All right.
Have you seen our show yet?
Yeah, no, I've watched it like all last week.
Oh, that's really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you're on it.
I was genuinely like, oh man, I hope they call me so I can do something funny. This is the one day where I didn't. Like, I was like, I'm just going to stay in bed until like 10.
This was the right day to do it then. We've done well. Ethan, do you have any phobias?
Do I have any phobias? Yeah, actually, I don't like deep water. I don't like murky water.
Solid.
That's the one we started on, yeah.
Same.
I don't know. I don't like the it's a double thing of like I think it's a pretty consistent fear of a lot of people where it's like no one's really in their element when they're in water because we're not really made for swimming super well.
Yeah.
And if you add, like, murkiness to it, it's like, now I can't see, and I might inhale a bunch of mud. It's just, I don't like it.
I mean, definitely, like, top of the list of one of the most uncomfortable things I've felt is being in murky water and then something hits my foot.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's horrible, but I'm more like, I don't know, I just don't, like, it's just like, it's dirty, I don't want to get bitten by anything. It's just all of that. I don't like going to lakes. Like, I enjoy rivers, because usually they're pretty clear, but there's something about lakes where it's like, it's just, how is this entire giant pool not stagnant?
We definitely have different sides of the fear. Yours seems to be much more about the cleanliness.
Well, no, it's definitely critters. Like that's more of it. But it's the addition. Like if something bites me, I'm not getting out of this without some horrible infection.
Fair. I feel like that's incredibly fair. See, look, normal people have phobias because they've done something in their life and been like, wow, that was awful. Never again. Kyle doesn't have any phobias because he's never done anything.
I didn't exist until 2014 as a fully formed adult.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I haven't done anything, like, horrible in, like, a lake or whatever and got bit. I went to a lake once and I was like, wow, this is super gross. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Wow. That's, yes. All right, Ethan, we have 60, we have 60 people watching. What would you like to say to all 60 of them?
60 people?
60.
That's more than 5 tens. That's impressive. Remember, kids, if you don't do basic math every day, you'll end up like me, where I go, what's these two basic numbers put together? And then I just sit there in silence. So do basic math every day.
Wise words.
You heard it. You heard it from the man. All right, Ethan, thank you so much for being on this show.
Yep.
It was a pleasure. Sorry, this was like the one day where I didn't have a joke ready.
That's fine. We'll have to talk later.
All right, take care, everyone.
All right. See ya.
Our friends are the best.
That was a good choice.
As you know, wise words from Ethan. Do math every day.
Do math every day.
Do your maths so that you don't math like Ethan. All right, I think that concludes the show.
I think it does. Anything else you want to throw out there? Any chance? Altered Egos episode 2 is up on the channel. It's we recorded it forever ago. It feels like at this point. We just put it up. It has Matt and Ricky in it, and they're amazing.
True.
They're playing K-pop stars.
Easily one of the best ones we've ever done.
Yeah, they did a great job, and it's currently up on the channel, and we're going to keep burning through everything else.
That you said Matt and Ricky playing K-pop stars in our D&D campaign, and it is true.
Yep.
It just hit me though. So, all right.
So yeah, go check that out for this, and I think later today the next stream is me. I'm doing Half-Life Alyx at 4 Central Time.
That's gonna be fun.
Tune in for that. I'm gonna do that for 3 hours, and then Rachel's gonna pick up after me doing drawing.
That's also a ton of fun.
Yeah. Later, that's full day here on twitch.tv/doormonster. Tune back in at 4.
Oh, tomorrow morning I want to talk about my experience playing Alyx.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
That's a good starter topic.
Yeah. Spoiler, I'm not playing it again. All right.
Thanks
bye,
for
everybody.
Joining. Bye.
See you
we'll
later.
see you in the morning.
Goodbye.
I don't have the end screen loaded up. Here we go.